the world in order to link this diabetes with this dreadful pandemic called as COVID-19. So one of the articles which was actually published in the month of May 2020 in Economic Times said something like this. So people with existing comorbidities like non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension or cardiovascular diseases pose a great threat or risk of mortality in COVID-19 patients. This is very, very important, which means that it might be diabetes, it might be a kidney issue, or it might be a cardiovascular problem or a heart disease. All these things are comorbid factors which poses a lot of threat in COVID-19 conditions. If you actually see the statistics as well, people above the age of 60, even the government is emphasizing a lot that people above the age of 60, they are most vulnerable for these dreadful infections, because when they are associated with secondary conditions like diabetes or heart disease, definitely the person can suffer from any kind of a dreadful viral disease in future, my dear friends. So the most important way to combat all these things is to manage the diet, exercise and stress. These are the three important things, especially in a diabetes person. During these vulnerable COVID-19 days, they have to concentrate on their diet, their exercise and lifestyle, so that their secondary implications will not cause any problems in a dreadful disease like COVID-19, my dear friends. I hope the point is clear. So these things are comorbidities which a person can really have in a country like India, because as I normally say, India is called as the diabetic capital of the world. It is the diabetes capital of the world actually, because we have a lot of people who are suffering from this disease, and this is like a pandemic in India these days. And even in the future, this is not a communicable disease as such, but even though it's a non-communicable disease, anyone and everyone can suffer from this dreadful disease called as diabetes in future, my dear friends. So that is the reason why we need to be careful. So diabetic patients need to be careful basically, because they are vulnerable to any kind of a disease in future, not only COVID-19, my dear friends, but they are prone to any kind of other diseases in future also. That is the reason why it is always important for us to consume wellness products. It is important for us to consume natural products so that we are protected against all kinds of dreadful diseases in the future. I hope the point is clear to everybody. So this is how we need to, we need to have a kind of a framework so far as the wellness products are concerned, so that we need to have that kind of an intention in mind that these wellness products always act, it will always act, or it always cut the root cause of the disease, so that the disease cannot develop in the body in the future days as well. So in fact, it tackles the root causes of the disease as well. So this is what exactly the wellness products do. Similarly, one of the other articles which was published in the month of July 2020 in one of the states in the US, Massachusetts, this article clearly says like this. What is COVID-19 risk for people with diabetes? See, one of the doctors there, she is an Indian doctor called as Janaki Wakaria. She is an MD who is working in the US. She has written an article actually in one of the general magazines there in the state of Massachusetts in the US. So what she says here is the connection between diabetes and COVID-19. See, people who have diabetes have impaired immune systems which would affect their ability to heal from an illness or disease quickly. This is a very important line what I am trying to tell you. People with diabetes always have very weak immune systems. See, that is the reason why when immune system is weak, automatically the resistance of the body is also weak against the diseases. It might be a normal disease or a pandemic disease also. That is one important reason why people with diabetes are succumbing to this dreadful disease, my dear friends, because their immune capabilities have also become less. So as I've been telling you, all the IndusViva products for that matter are frontline immune boosting supplement products. We call them as dietary supplements. They are frontline immune boosting products, which are very important for improving your immunity, so that your resistance improves. Automatically the body will not suffer from any kind of a dreadful disease in future. I hope the point is clear to everybody. This is how exactly the immunity is playing in our body. So we need to improve our immunity by the use of IndusViva health and wellness products, my dear friends. So each and every product have ingredients in them which are considered to be most natural, and these ingredients are those which helps enhance the immunity, and automatically the body will have that resistance, and this resistance can combat any kinds of dreadful diseases in future, my dear friends. I hope the point is clear to everybody. So another important point is, whenever a human body is subjected to a process called as stress, inflammation normally happens in the human body. So stress is also related to inflammation, in fact. So whenever the inflammation happens, normally the products have to be taken to reduce the inflammation. Inflammation is not swelling. So people should not have a misnomer, a misinformation stating that inflammation means swelling. Inflammation is definitely swelling, but on a broader perspective, even your cell can inflame. Each and every part of the body can inflame, leading to a lot of other problems. So that is the reason why when oxidative stress happens, inflammation enlarges. So inflammation happens a lot in the body. So that is the reason why when inflammation happens, especially in a diabetic patient, at the cellular level, I am telling, it is very difficult for them to go back to the original state. That is the reason why wellness products, as I tell you, wellness products always tackle the root cause of the disease. So automatically the person will not suffer from any kind of a dreadful infection in the future, my dear friends. So this is what exactly happens whenever we are consuming the immune products, like what we have the IndusViva products. Well, as you all know, that diabetes, for that matter, is not a disease. Diabetes is a disorder. So diabetes is a disorder. We also call it as a metabolic impaired disorder. It's a metabolic condition by itself. So diabetes mainly happens because of disturbances in the blood glucose defect, which is resulting from the defects in insulin production, insulin action, as well as it might be both sometimes. That is the way we categorize the diabetes into type 1 and type 2. So it also happens because of the disturbances in the carbohydrate, fat and protein metabolism, which results from defects in insulin production and insulin action inside the human body. Well, so far as diabetic disorder is concerned, the after effects of diabetes, we call it as after effects of diabetes or the co-effects of diabetes, they always include long-term damage and dysfunction and failure of various organs in the human body. This is what exactly happens when we have diabetes diagnosed in a person. It is a long-term damage that we are speaking of here, my dear friends. It is not something which is getting cured in 1 or 2 days. I hope the point is clear to everybody. So, what are the reasons and types of diabetes? This also is a very important point to be noted here. See, the first and the foremost reason is insulin resistance. Second is abnormal glucose production by the liver. So this is the one important thing that people have to know. Whatever we are eating, the digestion and the metabolism will always result in the liver finally. The liver comes into the play. So I'm just trying to tell you so that most people are common people watching here. I don't want to be too technical on these points. I'm just trying to analyze them so that each and every point is communicated to a normal person as well. So this liver is actually called as a sugar factory. So after the metabolism happens in the liver, the sugar production normally happens. We call this process as gluconeogenesis. See, normally in a normal individual, the gluconeogenesis or the production of the liver is very, very minimal. Whereas in case of a diabetic person, because of the impairment in the production of insulin, or in fact the circulation of insulin, or in fact the resistance which happens, what exactly happens here is the liver, inside the liver, the excess production of sugar happens. So that is the reason why we normally call liver as the sugar factory actually. When the excess production of sugar happens in the liver, automatically the sugar comes into the blood, and we call this process as the blood sugar. That is the reason why whenever we are checking the blood glucose levels, we call it as checking the blood glucose levels, which means that the sugar which is present in the blood. So these are some of the ways that diabetes is actually diagnosed. So that is how the diabetes is diagnosed, my dear friends. So diabetes also happens because of bad diet, and one of the major problems in India today is pre-diabetes. Approximately 90% of the people in India doesn't know that they are in the pre-diabetic stage as well. See, it might not be diagnosed, but people have a feeling of it. The subjective variations as well as some of the objective parameters which are taken in a study or a large trial which happens normally indicates, a clinical trial which happens in India normally indicates that the people are actually having this pre-diabetes in large numbers, which is actually a precursor for type 2 diabetes, my dear friends. So, as you all know that India is the diabetic capital of the world. So, we are increasing in numbers day by day so far as the diabetic cases are concerned. But we do have a wonderful product with us, iCoffee Creamer and iCoffee Black, which can cut down or manage your sugar levels without compromising the authentic taste of your coffee. This is what iCoffee can certainly do, my dear friends. So far as diabetic disorder is concerned, again, diabetes disorder has a lot of complications associated with that. See, so far as the complications are concerned, basically there are 4 important complications that I want to speak about. See, the first and the foremost complication is diabetic retinopathy. See, it does not happen in each and every individual who is diagnosed with diabetes, my dear friends. So it can happen in only in some number of people where the retina damage can happen because of sugar impairment. This is called as diabetic retinopathy, which is irreversible. Even though there are a lot of interventional ophthalmological procedures which are available these days, but still the result is far from, the researches are still going on and the results are not there actually. So the second thing is the diabetic nephropathy, which happens where the nephrons in the kidney are affected. A small, the capillaries, the small tubes in the kidneys, as we call it as, the small cells of the kidneys are also affected. That condition is called as the nephropathy, where the kidneys are affected. The third thing is called as the diabetic neuropathy, where the nerves in the body are affected. That is the reason why the numbness, the tingling, the pain in the legs, the pain in the back. Normally the people with diabetes will always be complaining of severe pain in the body. So especially in the legs, the extremities, what we call it as. So this is exactly called as diabetic neuropathy, my dear friends. So this is how the complications happen. Even diabetic enteropathy, for that matter, is also a dangerous thing which happens in most of the diabetic people. So normally the diabetic people will have a lot of gastric disturbances. It might be in the form of hyperacidity, it might be in the form of gastritis, the bloating of the stomach, the vomiting refluxes, the vomiting sensation, nausea as we call, similarly the loose motions. All these things can happen so far as the diabetic enteropathy is concerned. That is the reason why even some people do complain that after the consumption of I-coffee, for some days we will have gastric disturbances. They will be complaining of severe acidity, loose motions might happen sometimes. All these are the actual things which are associated with diabetes mellitus, my dear friends. So there are a lot of complications which are associated with diabetes also, but one thing that people have to keep in mind is, as I told you before, the effects of diabetes is always long-term damage and dysfunction to the human body. This is very important. It is long-term damage and dysfunction to the human body. This is how exactly the diabetic complications can be ascertained. I hope the point is clear to everybody. So the major ingredient which is present in this I-coffee creamer as well as I-coffee black is called as the Salacia reticulata. In fact, this is called as a patented ingredient called as salsitol, which is present in this I-coffee creamer and I-coffee black. This salsitol or Salacia reticulata is also identified as Ekanayakam or Saptaranga, which is found in the textbooks of Ayurveda dating back to 900 to 700 BC. So in fact, this particular herb is very important for controlling the blood sugar levels or managing the blood sugar levels, not from today or yesterday, my dear friends. It is from 900 to 700 BC, the textbooks, the ancient textbooks of Ayurveda, it is, emphasizing, the books have told that this particular ingredient is very important for managing the sugar levels in patients. I hope the point is clear to everybody. So not only this, so other ingredients of I-coffee is also very important. So the first and the foremost thing is the coffee beans. Coffee beans is in the form of the powder that we are using, which also has a very important activity on controlling the blood sugars. The third ingredient that we are using here is called as the Mucuna purulens, which is also called as the velvet bean. This ingredient or the extract of this particular seed is a very good sugar support as well as an immune booster ingredient also. I hope the point is clear to everyone. So processing of I-coffee, it's a very important process. What we normally do is we slowly roast the coffee beans at 40 degrees centigrade for 7 to 8 hours. This slow roasting results in total loss of caffeine which is present inside the coffee beans. So you can easily say outside that our I-coffee is actually caffeine free. I hope the point is clear to everybody. So whenever the caffeine is actually lost inside the coffee beans, the other things which come out of the coffee beans mainly include the polyphenols. Polyphenols are nothing but the antioxidants which are liberated inside the coffee beans. These antioxidants are also the best immune boosters. As I've told you, my dear friends, in one of the iPulse broadcasts also, antioxidants are very important for increasing the immune boosters as well as the resistance inside the human body. This particular polyphenols also are nothing but the antioxidants. These antioxidants will boost the immunity so that the person will not have any kinds of diseases in the future, and the resistance of the body also improves, my dear friends. I hope the point is clear to everybody. So not only this, This particular I-Coffee also has this wonderful coffee bean, which also has a lot of health benefits. So far as the health benefits of I-Coffee are concerned, it improves. So in fact, the coffee bean, in fact, the coffee itself has a lot of health benefits, my dear friends. Apart from it being a very good sugar supports, the coffee also aids in weight loss. It also lowers the risk of different types of diabetes. It protects the body from liver diseases also. It gives some of the antioxidant benefits. Psychological and neurological benefits are also associated with coffee. It lowers the risk of heart diseases as well as strokes as well. I am attributing these things to the coffee beans, my dear friends. I hope the point is clear. So coffee has n number of benefits, but our coffee, as you all know, that these coffee beans are caffeine free, very negligible amounts of caffeine and caffeine free, so that you don't have to worry about the dependencies of caffeine as well. So one thing that people have to know here is, whenever you are consuming coffee with caffeine, enormous amounts of caffeine on a daily basis, definitely the person's psychological as well as the neurological points in the body will be hampered all the time. That is the reason why it is always difficult for people to come back from the caffeine dependency. It is always a kind of an addiction which happens. So that is the reason why our I-Coffee does not have this caffeine content, so you don't have to worry about any kind of addictions which normally happen. I hope the point is clear to everybody. So, as you all know that I-Coffee Creamer and I-Coffee Black, they are suitable for all kinds of diabetes. It does not have any sugar content in this. It can be taken as long as desired. But one thing I want to tell everyone here that, so as a part of wellness supplement, it is always important for you to consume I-Coffee for at least a minimum period of 3 months, but maximum it can be consumed as long as desired. So can this be taken along with insulin? Absolutely yes. As along with the other medications also, you can take it pretty easily. And this does not lower the sugar as compared to the other synthetic or the modern medications. It does not lower your sugar immediately, but it lowers your sugar subsequently, and very gradually it lowers your sugar. That is very much which is important. So the next important thing is, can a normal person take I-Coffee? Absolutely yes. If you are a normal person and if you are on I-Coffee, it is always important for you to consume 1 sachet in a day. Or you can make it half sachet twice daily also. That is also the best way of consuming I-Coffee Creamer as well as I-Coffee Black, my dear friends. I hope the points are clear to everybody. Well, 1 sachet of I-Coffee has to be mixed with at least 100 ml of hot water or warm water. So please do not use cold water for making I-Coffee Creamer or I-Coffee Black, because whatever the herbal ingredients or extracts I have told you right now, it might be your salsitol, your coffee beans or salacia or the mucuna prurens. All these things require hot water or warm water for easy extraction and absorption in your human body. But whenever you are using cold water, the absorption will not happen properly and you will not get the maximum health benefits. I hope the point is clear to everybody. So my dear Vivites who are watching this, so with this I would like to end this short session on I-Coffee Creamer and Black. I hope you have got the knowledge to promote these wonderful products in the field now with the help of scientific information as well. So this is a question answer time now. So let me start with some of the unanswered questions which were asked last week, followed by the today's current week's questions as well, my dear friends. So today my colleague Miss Asma has collected the questions for me. So the first question of the last week by Mr. Jomil, if you are watching, Mr. Jomil. So I-Coffee Black was given to a patient suffering from diabetes for the last 15 years along with allopathic medicines. He is now complaining of numbness in his feet, increased weakness as well as increased chest irritation. Why this complication is happening, and even, okay, can he continue I-Coffee? Why are all these complications happening? So one thing, Mr. Jomil, if you have to understand is, as I have told you, diabetic is a metabolic disorder, so which has a lot of complications associated with that. Diabetes is not single. Diabetes is covered by a lot of complications. It is very important for us to tackle the complications as well as tackle the disease as well. So what I would like to suggest you is, please continue with I-Coffee Black, but you have to continue 1 sachet in the afternoon, half an hour before lunch, and 1 sachet in the night, half an hour before dinner. You have to stop that in the morning times. This will definitely help out the conditions as well as the complications to reduce. I hope the point is clear to you. So the next question is from Miss Monica. If you are watching this, Miss Monica is asking a question. 2-year-old baby suffering with type 1 diabetes, can I suggest our product? Absolutely yes. you can suggest I-Coffee Black, but give half sachet in the morning and half sachet in the night, half an hour before the food. Whenever you are doing half sachet, you have to mix 40 to 50 ml of warm water or hot water. I hope the point is clear. So the next question is by Mr. Pradeep Sharma. Mr. Pradeep Sharma is asking a question like this. Person who's diabetes but not taking insulin, can we suggest I-Coffee Black to get faster results? No. You can continue with I-Coffee Creamer only. I hope the point is clear to you. So the next question is by Mr. Adarsh Gupta. If you are watching this, one person 75 years old is suffering from high BP and diabetes. What should I suggest and what is the amount? You can suggest both I-Coffee Creamer and I-Pulse in this condition. I-Pulse must be 20 ml 2 times half an hour before the food, whereas I-Coffee Creamer must be 1 sachet in the morning and 1 sachet in the night, half an hour before breakfast and half an hour before dinner would definitely yield you better results, my dear friend. I hope the point is clear. So let me take the present week's questions now. The first question by Mr. Muhammad Abdul. If you are watching this, what is the percentage of caffeine in I-Coffee? It is absolutely negligible. It doesn't have caffeine even in measurable counts. I hope the point is clear to you. So the next question is by Mr. Abhishek Sood. If you are watching this, how many months do we need to use I-Coffee for results? As a part of wellness supplements, I would always like to tell you this. You have to use it at least for a minimum period of 3 months. Maximum you can use it as long as desired. I hope the point is clear. So the next question is from Mr. Totakara Varghese Sunny. If you are watching this, is it effective if water is more? Better to use 80 to 100 ml of hot water or warm water. Suppose if a person is having severe gastritis or gastric irritation or acidity or vomiting sensation or loose motion after using I-Coffee, it is always better to use at around about 200 ml of warm water or hot water. Mix it with I-Coffee and then you can drink it. Only in such conditions high dilution can be helpful. Otherwise 80 to 100 ml of warm water or hot water is absolutely sufficient, my dear friend. I hope the point is clear. So the next question is by Mr. Sushindran. If you are watching this, can a diabetic person consume I-Pulse? As I've told you before as well in many of the broadcasts, I'd like to repeat this point for the benefit of all. One can consume 20 ml of I-Pulse in the morning, half an hour before breakfast, and 20 ml in the night, half an hour before dinner. That is only for the diabetic people. I hope the point is clear. So the next question is by Mr. Shriram. If diabetic patient is affected by COVID, how much composition of I-Pulse and I-Coffee we should give them? See, Mr. Shriram, one thing is important here. This product is not for COVID. These products are generalized dietary and health supplements. People have to know this. These are generalized dietary and health supplements which are known to have immune boosting capabilities. For whoever the person is, whatever the disease condition is, the common dose, the normal dosage what we have suggested you, so far as I-Pulse is concerned, it is 30 ml twice daily, half an hour before the food, and I-Coffee will be 1 sachet in the morning and 1 sachet in the night, half an hour before your breakfast and half an hour before your dinner to be used. I hope the point is clear. So the next question is by Mr. Dino Emmanuel. If you are watching this, my father is using I-Coffee for 3 months, not much variation, any suggestion? As I have told you, Mr. Dino, if you are watching this, so 1 sachet of I-Coffee, please give it in the afternoon, half an hour before lunch, and 1 in the night, half an hour before dinner. Please stop it in the morning times, continue it in the afternoon as well as night, half an hour before lunch and half an hour before dinner. So this will help the purpose. I hope the point is clear to you. So the last question of the day that I am taking here is by Miss Pravalika. If you are watching this, one of my customers is facing gas troubles after consuming I-Coffee. So Miss Pravalika, if you are watching this, as I have told you, people who are suffering with gas troubles, you can dilute the I-Coffee with more water. See, probably if they have more and more gas troubles, you can go up to 200 ml of warm water or hot water. Otherwise, dilute it with around about 150 ml of warm water or hot water is also okay. You can do that. But even after the consumption of I-Coffee, ask them to consume at least 3 liters of warm water or hot water on a daily basis. This will reduce the gastric issues that the person is actually facing. I hope the point is clear to you. So friends, don't worry if your questions are left unanswered. You can still pose your questions. We will be able to answer it very quickly now. So some of the unanswered questions, we can answer it in the next week as well. You can also pose your questions on the messenger of our Facebook page of IndusViva/VibrantViva. So thank you so much, Vivites, for posing your wonderful queries. We really appreciate your participation in this Ask the Doctor series. So again, I will be back on Thursday with a wonderful product, Eye Glow again. Thank you so much for watching. This is Dr. Balu Kolar, Head of Product Development and Training, signing off from the desk. Thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead.